Grapefruit Juice, an Anzymatic Observation. Yo, what's going on? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today is coming from Casual off Earwood, where they ingested GBL, morphine, and grapefruit. And here's the full report details. Alright, so here we have a report with grapefruit as requested by you guys. Now I'm actually going to have 2 reports of grapefruit dropping here. Some of you guys have been requesting for the reports not to be as short and to have some more content overall in them. And for entertainment purposes, I totally agree and see how the well-written reports are more suited for this. So for certain requests, all depending on what it is, I'm going to have a documentation report, that is a report showcasing a singular substance, and then reports I think you guys would want to see. Because with a good amount of these, especially more obscure ones without a known psychoactive profile, the reports can be a lot more straightforward and may not necessarily be story-based to where it pulls you in compared to something like a Datura trip or Salvia trip. Which, I just wanted to let you guys know this. I do have a strong educational intent overall with this content, and I do still want to accommodate by giving you guys reports you really want to hear. So I've just been working on balancing that out. Sometimes people send me really short ones, and it is what it is in that case. But anyways, on with today's report. I figured when you guys pick grapefruit, a lot of you probably had in mind the potentiation it can have with other substances. And I mean a lot of substances. It can be considered a danger with some prescription medicines, and will often be recommended by doctors to avoid because so. Personally, I've used it with opiates and DXM before, but today we're covering its potentiation with GBL. GBL is a substance that converts into the active depressant we just covered, GHB. And the grapefruit definitely has an interesting effect here. You'll just see. So make sure to catch the next grapefruit report, as that one will just cover grapefruit alone. And then in a future video I plan to break down grapefruit and get into some of the details of it. Same thing with GBL. Also, this user did note they were taking morphine daily, which may have also played a role in this. But we'll cover that soon sometime also. But anyways, I'm sure you'll enjoy this report. So without further ado, let's dive right into this. In an attempt to continue to cultivate and grow the body of knowledge on this greatly misunderstood and misused drug, I present a simple observation on the specification of the drug's effects brought on by the intestinal CYP3A4 mediated metabolism of grapefruit juice. I had ingested a half cup of grapefruit juice about 25 minutes prior to dosing with 2.6 grams of GBL dropped into another half cup of juice. The onset of the effect was slightly delayed, 30 to 35 minutes. With a fast euphoric come up, 10 minutes, hitting firmly into the ceiling, a dumbfoundedness. The peak was the feeling of a heavy woolen blanket being placed over the head of one's intellectuality and ability to wield cohesive language. My head was full of cotton and floating awkwardly off its axis, in a manner similar to that induced by ketamine. I love ketamine, yet this state was frustrating. Perhaps because I had entered a social situation intending to call on the socializing effects of the GBL. I had only received a mind so full of pitfalls and dark rooms that I would lose track of the structuring of my sentences and the use of appropriate voice intonation. My voice grated on me, as I'm sure it did to others present. It was flat and dead like a bleached flounder. I have, on occasion, gotten this strong feeling at the beginning of a GBL experience, but never for more than a few minutes. This time it lasted for about 1.5 to 2 hours. It ran short on euphoria, but long on fucked upness. Not a huge plus for me. At this point in time, I've been using about 1.7 grams to 2.5 grams of GBL about 3 to 5 times a week for 2 weeks. I would usually use 1 or 2 0.5 to 1.5 gram booster doses as well, before carefully timing out the drug and administering my daily morphine. And so it must be said that my body was evolving in response to the GBL and confounding the specifics of these observations. But the aspect of duration of effect was directly affected by the ingestion of grapefruit juice. The peak plateaued for over an hour as opposed to 10 to 15 minutes. And instead of being followed by a mellow, flowing, talkative state where I can focus and concentrate with, perhaps, increased ability, I had trouble carrying conversation and thinking, and as a result, found myself bored and frustrated. The entire experience lasted about 4.5 hours without a booster, more than an hour longer than usual. GHB/GBL is not a more is better drug. If the euphoric and socializing effects were to grow directly and proportionally with an increase in dose, then higher doses would make some sort of sense. But this very really truly is not the case. Only confusion, nausea, uselessness, and sleep await the user of the higher doses. This was too much of a drug for me, due to the lack of clearance. It hit me like a punch that throbbed for 4.5 hours. All in all, a longer experience isn't what I want if I must spend the whole time in this valueless fog. I will not repeat.